Good morning. It is November the 15th. Wow, half a month is gone. 2017. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have been overcompensated for the impact of any with certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, equities around the globe got hit really hard last night. Started in China. Commodity prices, tightening loans, slowing economic growth were all cited. Started with commodity prices, crude oil, the energy sector, and natural resources sector in the UK, the European Union, the United States are also down. So stock markets around the world, when I took the measurement, off 3.4% in Asia, 2.48% in Europe, and we were down 13 points in the Emini at about a little after 5 this morning. So we have lots of news today. The news outside of China was pretty limited last night. So CPI plus 0.1, plus 0.2 for core retail sales plus 0.1, ex autos plus 0.2. Core CPI, ex autos will be the news focus. Manufacturing, Empire State Manufacturing Index survey at 26. Business inventories plus 0.1. Crude oil inventories minus 2.1. The APIs last night, crude inventories built 6.5. That's why crude plus the Chinese commodity losses are lower. So the news focus right here, CPI, retail sales ex autos. If we don't make the CPI numbers, they come in lower than forecast, then we'll get questions. Why is the Fed raising interest rates in December? If CPI, core CPI, is 0.2 or higher, then become a higher probability that the Fed will raise interest rates in December, as they've said. So we'll have to adjust after the news this morning. 3 to 7, sell 1. 11 to 15, sell 2. I'd like to buy below the buck, so we're right at support right here, so we'll go for a little cheaper, but it may take 01s to get in. Put a question mark at 01. Again, it's going to be down to the news, and 17 to 21 for buy 2. Balmy here yesterday. It was flirting with 60 degrees, damp. Little warm for this time of year, but the wind is from the south and the moisture pump was coming up, and we'll take the moisture. Wish it would come more in the form of rain as opposed to mist, but you take what you can get. 24.28, number 1, selling 31s to 03s, sell 1. If the E-mini continues to sell today, we don't want the short side of this market. On the buy side, 12 to 16, number 1. 5 to 9, buy 1. And 25, 29, buy 2. Had a great day of trading yesterday. The 4 or 5 trades we were able to get off real time before the fact. It is tough to cover 4 markets. We'll be talking about a trade in one and a trade will set up in the other. And quite often you'll find that if a trade sets up in one market because of the inverse in the intermarket relationships that we have, it'll set up in all of them. So what we try to do is cover the cost of the service daily, and we usually can get that done. Not every day, but we work on it. Yesterday was huge, though. I mean, there was 87 ticks on 3 crude trades with the worst exits. Okay, gold, the euro, and treasuries are higher because of the weakness in the stock market. The stock market today, after things settle down after 10 a.m. Eastern, will be subject to news spikes either on Trump's tax package or from Fed governors talking about how strong the internals are for raising interest rates or leaving them the same. I mean, we're at resistance right here, so 85, 87, sell 1. 89.91, sell 2. Stock market continues to sell. We don't want to be short gold. 80.82 buy 1. 75.77 buy 2. You know, they talk about suburbia being taken over by small wild game. I mean, it's everywhere here. The raccoons, the possums, foxes, the coyotes are coming back, and there's just great food sources in suburbia with all the natural habitat that rodents basically find in suburbia, which feed the foxes, feed the owls, feed the hawks, feed the coyotes. Most people don't know this, but the majority of a coyote's diet is mice and field rats. So it all starts with the rodents: squirrels, rabbits, mice, rats, and builds from there. Okay, the euro, boy, just blew through 25, blew through 50, so whatever Draghi said the other day is still impacting the market with some help from the dollar. So 75, sell 1. The buck, sell 2. London broke out from 28. Last rotate down was 42, so 40 to 50 buy 1. Don't really like that trade. 15 to 25 buy 2. That one I can live with because of this. Stops below 50 is the first play. If we don't extend the range and take out the overnight high, we can think about the short side. I didn't see anything that Draghi said that would propel the market this high this quickly. So a lot of this is just short covering, in my opinion. Short squeeze. Painful one at that, as they usually are. Okay, today we're looking for 30 ticks, give or take, the range in crude before the inventory report. The API is plus 6.5 million barrels. Looking for a draw of 2.1 on the EIA. Gasoline built plus 2.4. Distillates drew 2.5. This is jet fuel, diesel fuel. It's a transportation industrial fuel these days. Gasoline, they'd like to see something less than a build of 2.4, so they'd like for the market to rally back. And they'd like to see definitely a draw less than 6.5. I mean a build less than 6.5, but if we can get a draw of 2.1, and if we can get a draw on gasoline, crude could get a rally back. So rejecting prices below 55. We thought we had a shot at that last night. We're here. They've run prices down into today's inventory report. So the easiest way for the market to move on the news is higher. We've got our Newsday trade. Plus or minus a 40 tick fade. Can't trade that one with stops. Plus or minus a 70 tick fade, and we get that a couple of times a year. You can trade that with a 12 tick stop. We'll do our Newsday trade, try to buy the mode or mean, sell it if there is no whipsaw. If there's a whipsaw, we'll wait 3 to 4 bars and try to come in and execute at the edges. So without news today, we'd be trying to sell 25s to 50s, 75 to the buck. On the buy side, we'll keep our 54.75, 55 for buy 1, and then we'll make it 54 even, 54 and a quarter for buy 2. We'll lower that from last night by 25 points, 25 cents. Okay, the Emini heavily sold. The Senate version sunsets some deductions for the middle class, but it does repeal the mandates in Obamacare, which would be a positive. They delay the drop in corporate tax rates till 2019, but that only saves, I think, $108 billion in revenues. So I think that they are going to get it passed. I don't think there'll be as much there for the individuals, but I also think that that 6% surcharge for people that have over $1 million in income will probably be dropped, because that takes taxes to 46%. And if you add state and local to it, then you put gasoline, telephone, all these other little tiny taxes that we're burdened with that we don't really see, doesn't come at us big time. Some people are being taxed to the tune of 60% with that 6% bump. As it is, if they keep the top bracket at 39.6, people in California, the high tax states, are being taxed 55% of their income goes to the Fed or the states. So they really need to think that through. And what they need to do is cut the budget. And how do you cut the budget? You get rid of entitlements, which means votes. That's very difficult to do. My guess is they can't do it without a catastrophe. And they'll all be taken care of in that catastrophe. If things get real bad, they'll be able to go to a military base and be protected, so they're once again not held accountable for the damage that they've done. And the next group of people will come in and say, how could these people do this? We never would have let it happen. Elect us. We'll show you what we're going to do. That's how it all gets cleaned up. There is not the political will to make any voting bloc mad in our government these days. So sell 1 69.71, sell 2 74.76, buy 1 60 to 62, 55 to 57. We'll adjust that after the retail sales news. CPI up 1/10. PPI came in much higher than forecast. It's a precursor, though. It leads, so CPI can come in as forecast. Retail sales up 1/10. Ex autos plus 0.2. The importance of this number right here, if it comes in, if it's a miss, it's a bust, like unchanged or zero, then why is the Fed raising interest rates in December? Economy appears to be softening. Empire Manufacturing Survey 26, business inventories plus a tenth. The focus, retail sales ex autos, core CPI. Going to take a bit to get everything up and published. I'm going to get busy on that. Back with you ASAP.